Ayo. Wait. Just a minute. Just Ayo. So today I've come up with the random challenge of I do say random a lot. I feel like random is the word that I always use. Huh. Anyway, I've come up with a random challenge of creating a song out of a very famous Apple sound and sometimes particularly a very annoying sound that has come out of Apple, and it is this. That was the default alarm sound. That is basically default settings on pretty much every Apple electronic device. I will also do some sound designing because that's something I haven't really done on this channel at all. So hopefully I will be able to shape not just the sounds coming from the alarm itself, but also I think another cool feature would be how like the devices vibrate against some surfaces. So I could use that vibrating sound to also create some sort of sound designing instrument thingamajig. So yeah, let's get right into the video. Okay, so I've got my trusty guitar here, and I'm gonna find which key this kind of ringtone kind of thing is in. Obviously, I've got to have some guitar in this song. So let's just listen to the ringtone again. It's like I don't know. I feel like it's somewhere in between F and F sharp, maybe like a quarter tone. I've tried with the tuner, but the tuner doesn't really seem to pick up anything. So I'm just gonna go with F sharp because it seems closer to F sharp. After a bit of just like playing around on the guitar, there are two genres of music that I could come up with. And the first one, and a pretty obvious one if you think of the rhythm of this alarm, is to do some like heavy metal. And then the second one is to take it a little softer and go with chill, kind of a lo-fi kind of thing. So, two completely opposite genres. You know what? I'm gonna upload a poll on my Instagram, which is Adam Schrantz Music. Go follow me on there. The results from the poll have told me that I should do a chill lo-fi song. So now I'm just going to record those sounds of the alarm. One thing I will need to do is probably pitch correct these sounds. The vibrating sound from the alarm is actually somewhere around D, but it's a bit higher, it's a bit more sharp. So I will need to pitch correct that as well. I'm back and I've recorded as many sounds as possible from that specific alarm sound. Now, I discovered there are actually two main vibration sounds when the alarm is ringing. The first one is your typical buzzing vibration sound that really occurs when anything is really vibrating. But the second one is a bit more of an Apple designed modern kind of wobbling, pulsy sound. I don't know, it's hard to explain. I'll play a clip so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. So yeah, I think I could probably turn those sounds into some specific instruments. I'm already thinking of what instruments I can turn them into. So one thing I found out when recording this stuff is that EQ plays a very important role in recording. EQ plays a much more important role than you may think. I used EQ in this scenario not just to sound good. Okay, so I did use it to sound good, but not in the way that you think. So this is the raw recording, and as you can hear, there's a lot of background noise. You can hear me just trying to move stuff around. And you can barely hear the vibration sound because the vibration sound doesn't produce that much noise. So how I fixed this, I could use a noise gate, but I thought EQ worked a lot better in this scenario, and I'll explain why. So what I did to fix this is that I went to the EQ settings on GarageBand, this is the iOS version, and I turned down the treble and turned down the mids and boosted the bass, because that's where the vibration sounds really occur. Now you can really hear that vibration sound and not much of that background noise. So I did the same for the second vibration, and that's why I've got such a clear sound. Anyways, now I'm going to edit let's jump into that setup. Okay, so we are back in my old setup, and I can't really call it old because it was like only a month ago, but yeah. So here I've got a bunch of different instruments, and I've used GarageBand's sampler. Just open it up here. It looks pretty outdated, but this is fine for now because I haven't had any problems. I haven't had any real limitations with the software yet. So from the top, we've got ringtone bells. It was just created with the ringtone, and then I just mapped it all out. I pitch corrected it so it was actually playing the correct notes. Because, as I mentioned before, the ringtone was somewhere between F and F sharp. I did say I was going to put it, pitch correct it to F sharp. The tuner actually showed that F was the closer note. So, this is what it sounds like. And next, we've got ringtone bells too. So that's what it sounds like. Same thing as the first instrument, just one note. Next, we've got the vibration buzz electric, and this is obviously is from the buzzing vibration sound. This is the original sound. That's your typical buzz vibrating sound, but once you pitch shift it a lot, it kind of sounds like an electric piano, kind of like a Rhodes piano, I really think of it as. Next instrument, we've got the pulse vibration sound. So this is the more modern vibrating sound, and I use that to create a bass. I'll show you the original sound. So that's the original sound, and then I just pitch shifted it a bunch of times, and I eventually got that sound. This is the bass drum. This is just the raw audio file. What I did is I got the pulse vibration and just narrowed it down to a single note. Next, we've got the click, and what this is, it's literally just the bass drum, except pitch shifted up a few octaves, and then just play around and see what sounds nice. Here we've got the hi-hats. But what this is so it's kind of crazy because the vibration pulse bass is very pitch shifted version of the audio, the original audio, but this here is an even more pitch shifted version. I'm not that great with EQing, but like it works. And what I've done here is I've just turned everything down except for the treble, which I've boosted. When you like just shift up it a few octaves, you get this sound. So there you go. It kind of sounds like a hi-hat. And last of all, we've got the reverse ringtone shaker. This is the ringtone's bell too, except I reversed the audio. But what I did is I just bring it up a lot, and it gives you a nice little shaker. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually playing two notes at once. Gives you a nice amount of depth and a shakery sound, if you will. So that's all the instruments I have here. Let's get into making some beats. Okay, so I have done a lot of work on creating this song. I've made a few beats and it's sounding pretty good so far. I'll give you a little preview of how it sounds. One thing I want to note is that I changed the sounds of the bass drum and the hi-hats a little bit. I changed the bass drum by actually EQing it. Now, I said I didn't really need to put EQ on there, but I decided, you know what, it sounds a lot better with EQ. So what I did, I just bring up that bass and turn down the treble, and I'll give you a little comparison. So this is it like with the EQ, and this is it without the EQ. So there, it sounded like a kind of like a clicking sound. It didn't have any post editing or post production on it, but now that has some EQ, it sounds a lot better, in my opinion. It sounds a lot like a bass drum as well. And I also changed the hi hats because for some reason I decided to put a bit crusher over here, which is a type of distortion that makes some things sound like they're in a video game, like a really old style Game Boy or something like that. This is what it sounds like with the bit crusher on, just for reference. And this is what it sounds like without the bit crusher. And it just sounds louder and it sounds a lot better. It sounds more like an electronic hi-hat. I don't know why I put that on, but I just did so. Also, I've got an audio track here, and that's just a little riser. And that's really just made of me just recording background noise and then EQing it with like a filter to like rise it. And so it kind of sounds like a riser. Here's a riser part. So that's basically all I've done so far, and I'm gonna finish this, and then I will also record some guitar over it because we need a little guitar in our lives every now and then. And after that, I will be able to create maybe like a little music video for this and then post it. If I have enough time, then I might be able to create the music video and post it this week. Otherwise, I'll post it next week. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll probably do a lot more sound designing because it's really fun to do. And I encourage you guys, if you're like intermediate kind of in a way and you're pretty confident about music producing and you want a challenge, then sound designing is really fun. I really recommend it. And so yeah, see you guys.